Hey everybody, it's me, Joel Simmons. We are back again for another episode. You are going to love this episode. We have Erwin Wils with us here today, and he is the Millionaire Life Strategy coach. He does hypnotherapy, and he helps businesses to scale their business by scaling their mind and unlocking their own pathway so they can be the greatest individual that they can be, and also so they can help their companies get out of their own way. So we're very grateful. You're going to love him. I guarantee that. But first off, let's go ahead and tell you about all the different shows we have. First off, Michael Seville, my co-host on Community Beacon, has a show every single Monday. It's at 9 o'clock, and it's called What It Takes. Please check him out on YouTube. What It Takes, Michael Seville. He's given golden nuggets on how you can take your business to the next level. I think you ought to check him out. And this show, It Starts With Me. Every single Wednesday, 12:30, you'll be able to meet with one of our amazing guests from across the country and across the world for that matter, and learn something new. So please show up and be there with us 12:30. And then we end the week on Fridays at 6:30 with the Community Beacon, both Michael Seville and myself. Learn, share with you all the things that we have learned so that you can take your business and lifestyle to the next level based off of the things that we've learned, things that we've been through. Now, let me go ahead and bring Erwin to the front. He is a mindset and a business strategist at the Millionaire Life Strategy. His Profitable Passion program empowers female and tech entrepreneurs to boost their business and themselves so they can confidently deliver their added value to the world without feeling like an imposter. That's huge. Beat that imposter syndrome. As a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering by education and certified professional hypnotherapist, Master Soulkey therapist, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and IEMT, infrared eye movement therapy practitioner by training. Wils brings 25 plus years of experience to show his clients how they can use their talents and expertise to make a positive impact in the world and make a good living doing it. In April 2022, Wils launched Follow Your Passion podcast, in which he interviews clients and fellow entrepreneurs who follow their passion and are making a good living doing so. So please check out the podcast. But without further ado, please welcome Erwin Wils. So I'm glad to finally be able to meet you. And so you're a Power Mind coach?
Yeah. Well, I got two websites actually. Power Mind Coach is for the Dutch market, and I got Millionaire Life Strategy for the international market.
So when you say international, who are you speaking with?
As long as they're speaking English or Dutch, I'm fine with that.
English or Dutch?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So are you familiar with Aegon?
I haven't heard of it before.
Well, it's a Dutch organization, like a $7 billion organization in the financial industry.
So you mean the insurance company, Aegon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that company. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well, I think, and I guess they kind of like own Transamerica over here too, so that's interesting. So tell me more about your business. How you became this mindset coach.
Well, about 8 years ago, almost 9 actually, I was optimizing processes, right? And I got this insight about you can optimize a process and have all the graphs and figures to validate this optimization. But if the people that are using the process don't change, the process itself won't change. So how do I get those people to change as well? And I thought about doing a training on NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, but I actually didn't know what it meant. So I did a little research, via that research, I came to hypnotherapy. And when you're looking just behind me, you see a picture of my 2 boys. They're adopted. And via hypnotherapy, I came across regression therapy, and I thought that I could help my boys with that, because they're adopted and they're separated from the biological parents. So somehow they've been through some sort of trauma. And this regression stuff, I thought, I could help my boys with that. And my wife thought the same. And we decided actually to do the training, if only we could help our boys with that. And after the first training weekend of hypnotherapy, everything I loved came together, because I loved helping people in a coaching manner. My work needs a challenge. And since every person is unique, has its own problems, its own solutions, its own way of getting there, every new client, every new session is a new challenge for me. And I'm still optimizing processes, but very complex ones, those of the internal human being. So I knew, and I'm talking about March 2015, and I just knew I wanted to do that for a living someday. And in my mind, it was about 5 to 10 years from that moment on, not realizing that I would actually start my business in September the same year, and I would be fully self-employed in February 2017.
Oh, wow. Full self-employed in 2 years.
Yeah. So I started out as hypnotherapist, helping people overcome all kinds of mental challenges. And I saw a lot of unused potential with my clients. Yet they didn't come to me to get rid of or to activate this unused potential. They just came to me to get rid of a problem. So that's why I changed my focus towards coaching. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So that's why I'm calling myself a mindset and business strategist, because I'm still using hypnotherapy to help my clients to unlock the full potential. And I'm using my years in the business to help them optimize the business as well.
So what were you doing before then exactly? How long were you doing that?
I've been working in the corporate world for about 22 years. So every step I took was more towards full-time process optimization. I graduated university back in 96. So that was the last century already. And it was always about optimizing processes.
Huh. That's interesting. So, at the end of those 22 years, you just you ended up with adopting a couple of kids and thinking about how you can help other people. And that's how you got into NLP.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to do NLP, but I actually got attracted to hypnotherapy, because I read an ebook that stated that NLP was some sort of hypnosis. And I couldn't get my head around that, because hypnotherapy was, I had some presuppositions about it, about not being in control as hypnotist, and I want to be in control of my own actions. So I never thought about that becoming one of my biggest skills, and yet it has happened. So.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about hypnotherapy. Now, is everyone susceptible to being hypnotized?
As long as the person wants to change, yes.
So does that, when you say wants to change, does that mean they have to want to change through hypnotherapy, or just want to change in general?
I would say I want to change in general. What it actually is about the part of not being in control, right? We make a separation between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, right? And what happens during a hypnotherapy session is I'm not taking over control. I'm starting a cooperation with your subconscious. So what happens during a hypnotherapy session is that the control shifts from your conscious mind towards your subconscious mind. So it's still you that's in control, right? Okay. So if the person wants to have the change, I know it's going to work, because the subconscious will take over control of your conscious mind.
Okay. All right. So do you feel like what percentage of people can be hypnotized?
Well, I feel over 99%.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So I guess for me, I've always wondered about being hypnotized, and I have we actually had someone who's NLP on our show before, but never someone who does hypnotherapy. So that's very interesting, and it's interesting that you took that piece right there and you just fell in love with it. Um, and it's interesting to hear about the success that you have with it. Also, I mean, 99%. I would assume that that's based off of what you have seen and the people that you help. So I'm just very intrigued by that all in itself. You
Yeah.
know, um, could you share with us, of course, without any names or anything, but some type of experience that you've had that was just so amazing, uncanny, even?
Well, um, one of the interesting things that my first trainer said, that if you're serious about doing hypnotherapy, you have to start working with clients, right? Because it's just when you got your driving license, you just learned how to drive once you got your driving license, right? So you have to make the mileage. And I decided to start working with volunteers that wanted to help me to get those mileage. And I think it was the fourth volunteer that came to me, and he had an issue with in confrontations. He got angry, and he was working with the military police, so that's not a very good combination to have, right? And we had a very good pre-talk, and I definitely knew that he wanted to change. And before we wanted to start the hypnotherapy session, he said to me, I don't know if I'm easy to hypnotize, because he has been on stage with a hypnotherapist to get rid of, to stop smoking, but it didn't work for him. And I didn't have any doubt in my mind. And I just said, we just had a great pre-talk. You want to change, so it's going to happen. And he was very easily in a deep trance. He actually amazed himself afterwards. And a week later, I contacted him to ask him if he needed a second session or whatever, right? And he said, it's amazing. You've changed my life. I don't need a second session. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know and I'll help you. So he was very grateful. And I just had one session with him. And it was like my fourth client I helped. So it's still a stick to me.
That's amazing. And that was, almost a decade ago, like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. It's amazing though when you help that individual, right? How that affects you and how it affects everyone after that. The confidence level just rises. And so I would think that that probably really sent you in a great trajectory to help more people.
Yeah, definitely. And I've always been looking for ways to add value. And when I got in contact with hypnotherapy, I thought, this is my purpose. This is my mission. I have those skills and I want to help as much people as I can.
So you continued. Very
Yeah,
good. And so when did your adopted sons come along? When did you adopt them? What year?
I adopted them in 2010.
Okay. Okay.
So they were already 4 or 5 years with us. And then I came across hypnotherapy.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's amazing. So with hypnotherapy, I mean, how many clients do you have now, or do you only accept a certain amount of clients?
Well, at this moment, I'm not actively looking for hypnotherapy clients. I'm more into coaching right now, still using hypnotherapy to help my clients transform, of course, but there's still coming hypnotherapy clients to me, because word of mouth goes around, and that always helps. And of course, I will help those people, but it doesn't have my focus at this moment. But I would say that on average, about 5 to 10 clients.
Wow. So what do you think you're going to do with that as far as it goes with businesses? Do you just speak with the CEO, or who do you target when it comes down to your marketing?
Currently, I'm focusing on business owners, entrepreneurs, and that can be a single-owned business or have a few people as employees. And I would say that my niche is between a solopreneur and an entrepreneur that has about 5 to 10 employees, because that will be the moment that the founder of the company needs to become a CEO, right? And have all the operational tasks delegated to his employees. And some of those founders have a hard time letting go of the operational tasks, because who knows better how to do things than the person that builds the company? Well, if he or she hired the right people, his or her employees, but sometimes they have a hard time to let go. And I sometimes compare it with like you're raising your kid, right? And the kid reaches this age that it's going to leave home, and starts standing on its own feet. And the parents have a hard time of letting go of control, right? They have to
Mm.
accept that a kid has grown up and is able to work independently. And it's the same with business. You know, the moment they have to let go of the operational tasks and that the company starts working for them, that needs a mindset shift. And
Mm.
that's where I come in.
I think that's really super, because I agree with that 100%. You know, achieving that mindset shift can be quite difficult, you know. And just with the program, this program, it starts with me, dealing with those individuals and knowing that these owners and these founders have to make that type of shift on their own. But then also the employees, I heard you mention about the employees realizing that they have to take on, either they realize they can take on more, or that they have to realize they have to take on more in order for that growth to happen. So do you ever do like group sessions, or is it all solo?
Well, actually, I did a very little group sessions, but I recently launched a new service where I'm building a community and I'm offering group coaching in that community. Um, I'm doing a high level coaching, which means that the investment my clients have to make can be quite high, especially if they don't have the money upfront. And I decided to offer my services for a very entry level price. You know, for a few, let's say $50 a month, they can join the community, and I will coach them in that community. I will go live once a month to do some live Q&A, or to offer somebody in hot seat, and maybe discuss some topics that are actual in the group. And in that way, I can offer my services to a bigger audience.
That's a beautiful concept, and it's a great deal of help. I'm sure that people would love to come back and work with you more on a one-on-one basis after they kind of get a chance to, taste what you have to bring to the table.
That's exactly the idea, indeed, Joel. And I want to uh, make a bigger impact, inspire more people, and I thought it was a very natural way to do that.
That is very good. Very good. By the way, how could people get in contact with you with this community that you've developed?
Well, of course, they can contact me on LinkedIn. You know, if you're looking for Erwin Wils, you'll find me, or they can go directly to my website, millionairelifestrategy.com, and they can find all the information they need. And if they have any questions, they can book a Calendly link, and I can answer all the questions they have.
That's very good. Really straightforward. So it seems like you've really got like your mindset, and you're heading in the direction that you really desire to go. Has it always been like this for you?
Well, like I said, I've always been looking for ways to add value, and I always wanted to help people. But it has been a struggle, right? What I want, especially when you're just starting out as a business owner. You can be an expert in your field, but it doesn't make you an entrepreneur, right? And nobody teaches you how to become an entrepreneur, how to become visible, how to attract clients. And at the beginning, you're following a lot of people because there are a lot of gurus out there saying, this is the way to go. And I'm not that special. So if I can do it, you can do it as well. And I tried to follow them only to realize that it wasn't working for me because they wanted me to clone them, right? And it didn't feel authentic to me. So I let it go and I started to focus on the principles, why it worked for them. And then I started to see how I could apply those principles into my own business. And that actually helped me a lot.
Okay, that's deep. Wow, and this is some of the stuff that you're teaching to your business coaching clients.
Yes, well, I want them to be authentic, right? I call myself truly a coach. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm looking at you and see how you can make a difference, right? And I don't like to tell people what to do. The change should come from within, because if you create it, if you think about it, then it's your idea and you're behind it. It's your intrinsic motivation that keeps you going, not just me telling you what to do. That's not my kind of coaching.
Very good. Do you end up doing any hypnotherapy or hypno coaching with these individuals?
Definitely. Because I say that you've heard those things as well. It take anywhere between 30 to 90 days to create a new habit, right?
Yes.
Or I'll give you a hypnotherapy session of about 90 minutes. You choose what's more efficient, right?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So, could you share with us maybe a question or something that you may say while somebody is being hypnotized? Say they want to go to the gym more frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's actually a great example that you're giving, because they can have this intention to go more to the gym more often, right? But the subconscious can't do anything with it, right? There's no emotion, there's no feeling behind it. So when people come to me and they say, I want to be motivated to go to the gym more often, I start asking them, so why do you want to go more to the gym more often? What's behind it? What do you want to achieve, right? And then they say, well, I want to feel better in my body. I want it's building my confidence, right? It makes me look better. It's building my self-esteem. It makes me more confident. I can play with my children or my grandchildren. I won't be exhausted. So it's all about improving the quality of life. And those kind of things, the subconscious can do something with it. So I'm more into the level of the beliefs and values that are behind it. And when the subconscious knows what the client wants to achieve, then it can work with that. And then going to the gym more often might be the result of that. But it might also be that it won't be going to the gym more often, but maybe going for a walk more often, or taking the bicycle instead of the car, or something else.
That was great. That was excellently answered. That
Thank
was
you.
excellently answered. Yes, and very, very, it felt very true because, so, and you made this example just a little while ago when you were talking about how you saw other people doing XYZ and you realized that they wanted, basically for you to clone their lifestyle in order to find success. And you decided you would go a more authentic route and you would just take the principles and figure out how you could apply it to your own life. But then when you gave this example, it's full circle. And I hope that our audience caught that. But it just goes full circle in how you deliver this message. It's like, okay, you want to go to the gym, but let's dig deeper. Let's figure out what the true why is. Because at the end of the day, you know, what you do is help people to reach the true why. You know, it's all about hitting the root of the tree versus the fruit of the tree. And I think that too many people are just picking apples, thinking that that's going to change their life. But really, what they need to do is get down to the root of it and grow their own apples. You know, just
that's a great example, Joel. Indeed, and I like to add to that people are limiting themselves without realizing it, or sometimes, in a positive sense, people are more capable than they give themselves credit for. And I have a very simple yet effective experiment to prove that. And if the audience would like to participate, that's wonderful. It consists of 2 physical challenges and 1 mental challenge, but you don't have to be exercising in order to complete it. So the first experiment, the physical experiment, is I want you to take one of your hands and reach it as high as possible, and make a mental note which height you reach with that hand, because you need it for the second experiment, right?
I'm going to do this with you. All right.
Perfect. Yeah. So the second experiment is I want you to take that same hand and reach it even higher than you just did, and let me know if you succeeded.
I did.
Perfect. Now you can lower your hand again. So the third challenge, it's a mental challenge. It consists of only 1 question, and it's this: why didn't you do that the first time?
I just went as far as I felt was comfortable.
Because I didn't give you any limitation, right? I just asked you to reach your hand as high as possible. And the funny thing is that you did this exercise sitting down, right? You could have stood up and reached even higher. You could have climbed on your desk, telling me that the ceiling is limiting of your hand for reaching higher.
Yes.
And it all has to do with framing, right? You put yourself in some sort of frame, and within that frame, you think you do the best you can, until you're challenged to get out of that frame, and you realize you can do even better.
Yes. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful and so simple.
Yeah. And I must say that it's wonderful to do this. And over 99% of the people, you know, react more or less the same. Sometimes you even get the questions, can I stand up? And the only thing I do is just repeat the question. I just want you to reach as high as possible. And they decide themselves to stay seated.
Yes. I absolutely see that. And, you know, without thinking about it, I limited my own belief by saying, oh, you know what, I'm in this podcast, you know, there's the video, I need to stay inside the screen, you know, that's all of these things need to be aligned and just right. And, you know, that limits who I can become, because I literally have put myself in the box that's on the screen, and I am doing all that I can do to stay right inside of this box. And for this example, it would have been a great opportunity. I mean, I stretched my arm outside of the box, and I want to tell you something. I really thought about that, because I was like, nobody's going to be able to see my hand.
Yeah. I must make a little remark. If you do this experiment with children, I would rephrase the question into, wow, did you see that you are able to do more than you gave yourself credit for? Because that has a positive intention, right? And if you would ask the children, why didn't you do that the first time? It might imply they've done something wrong. And that's not good for children. So I rather end it with a positive thing. Wow, did you see you're capable of more than you thought you could? Something like that.
And this didn't even require hypnotism.
No.
That's good.
And that's what I say, you know, the first step of change is becoming aware. And this exercise definitely helps us with that.
That's good. And from there, you drill down.
Exactly.
That's very good. That's very good. Yes. Were you like this, this inquisitive and this outwardly thinking when you were young, when you were a teenager?
When I was a teenager, I always wanted to help people, and I always had a. I still remember I've done practice judo for a very long time. I would say about 34 years. I started when I was about 5, and I still remember when we had to do the exams for another grade, and the friend I was doing the exam with. Sometimes he didn't know a certain grip or throw, and I tried to whisper it in his ears, but I wasn't that good in whispering. So when the exam was over and the trainer said, "Well, Erwin, you succeeded, but your friend should also know the grips." So I wasn't that good in whispering, but I always wanted to help people. I still remember that.
That's very good. That's very good. So you're just following in that pathway and getting better and better at it.
Yeah, and I remember that I was also very sharp of mind. I remember that when I was young, I loved to read, and I had this little light above my bed. And when I had to go to sleep, I was always taking a book and reading uh, secretly. But I didn't know that my mother could see the light under the door, right? And at a certain evening, she came in and she shouted to me, uh, "I got you. You're reading in your bed." And without thinking, I just answered, "No, I'm just looking at the pictures." And it actually made my mother very angry, but it was just out of the blue. I thought, I'm not reading, I'm just looking at the pictures. So I was already very sharp at reacting at those moments.
That's good. That's real good. So, just for a moment, Erwin, just tell me a little more about yourself. You have your family, things that you like to do. Let's tell the audience a little bit about who the man is behind this legend that you've developed.
Yeah, well, I'm married with my wife. We've been together for since 1991, so we're already together for 32 years, of which
Wow.
we're married. This year it will be 24 years. Actually, yesterday was exactly 25 years ago that I asked my wife to marry me.
Wow.
And we actually did it on Friday the 13th, just a day before Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's awesome.
So, and it's, yeah, I love fast cars, motorcycling, martial arts. Like I told you, I've been practicing judo for 34 years. In my younger years, I think I trained about 20 hours a week. I was subnational level, but I always had a very general interest. I never wanted to specialize myself because I had this idea that once I got specialized, I wouldn't get out of that corner, right? So I always wanted to develop myself in a very general, broad way until I became this hypnotherapy enthusiast, I would say. And now I've become the expert in my own field, and I'm loving every minute of it because I'm helping people, um, making a positive impact, and I love doing that.
That's cool. That's very cool. I love that. Were you born in May?
No, I was actually born in October.
October?
I'm a Libra. Yeah,
Okay. All
October
right.
8th.
I was born May 31st, and I was like, man, there's a lot of commonalities in your story. I really enjoy it. So I like to generalize in a lot of different things, and I love helping people in every way, shape, and form that I find possible. So I enjoy your story. You're very you've got a great deal of class, and you've taken the time to really understand who you are, and then to help build people so that they can understand who they are, and so that they can explore themselves as well as their dreams, their passions. And I think that that's important. Having someone like you in the world makes a difference for many people.
Thank you. Much appreciated, Joel. And I must say that um, I still haven't reached the finish line yet. I'm still working on myself. I'm being coached as well because I believe if a coaching is a shortcut to success to achieve your goals. And I have my own coach and mentor as well. And I thought I was very authentic myself until I got a realization last year, about a few months ago. And I actually realized I was lying to myself. And it's it was a profound insight I got, I would say, because my father died in 2002, and I had a very good relationship with my father, right? I saw him as a father, but he was also my biggest fan. I saw him as a friend, and I wanted to have the same relationship with my two boys. Yet the relationship with me and my oldest son was very complex. We collided a lot, and I thought it was because we're very similar in a sense, and then it might collide because you get mirrored what you're sending out, so to speak. And I was in a training a few months ago, and I just realized that the only way to build the same relationship with my oldest son as I had with my father is when I would become my father and he would become me. And that's a mission impossible, right? So I let go of that neediness, I would say, to build the same relationship. And from that moment on, the relationship started to improve.
Very good.
Very good. That was a very profound insight for myself, that I was so eager to build the same relationship that somehow subconsciously I wanted to copy my father and I wanted him to be me. And you can't have that because everybody is unique, it's their own personality, and you should value that.
Yeah. And did your coach help you to understand this?
Yeah, because you don't see your own blind spots.
That's right.
And that's why they're called blind spots, of course.
That's right. Once again, that's further proof of why having someone in your corner, a mentor, a coach, is so important. That takes us to self-development, and how self-development is not something that is singularly done. It can be, but it's hard to see those blind spots. It's just like that example that you just gave. I did all I could to stay inside this box, this little box. That'll be on YouTube, and your words following that is like, no, Joel, you could have got outside of the box. It would have been just fine. You could have got on top of your desk. It would have been just fine. I could have gone outside and laddered the roof. It would have been just fine. Yeah. So you're a very interesting individual, Erwin. I really enjoy this conversation. Is there anything that you would love to leave with the audience that they may be able to take home with them any more than what you've already left?
Well, I would like to give one example. That are you familiar with the television series The Voice?
Yes.
Yeah, where people come to audition, right? And you have those natural talents, right, that come to the audition, and the moment they're open their mouth, the audience is mesmerized. You get shivers all over your body in a good sense. Yet they don't really. I always say they're unconscious capable, right? Yet for them, it's not that special, right? They haven't learned for it. They haven't studied. They're just doing what they love to do. And they think everybody can do that. They're not that special. Most of them are sent by the parents or the family or the friends, go to the audition really good. And they need this jury to make them conscious, capable of their own talents, right? And they start blossoming during the live shows. And the further they come, they start appreciating the talents they have. and they start actually having fun with it, right? And start appreciate the gift they have. And it's my belief that every person has a talent, yet it comes so natural to them, they don't realize it, they don't recognize it as a talent. And I believe everybody has its own talent, is here to make a positive impact. And I love to uncover and discover the hidden talents my clients have and help them blossom that and cherish that.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, a lot of things just traveled through my mind while you were mentioning that. You know, is it because, you know, in your opinion, you know, the individual is hidden, that they can expose the greater part of them? And then also, is it because the individual is hidden for the audience's sake, that they can receive the greater part of them without having any regards to how shapely or how beautiful or, you know, no natural affection, but just that voice?
Well, between the age of 0 and 7, you don't have your own conscious mind. So everything you do naturally, right? And you take everything for granted. Everything you experience in that period of your life, you take for reality, for truth. So you get almost limited by your parents' belief, the cultural, the social rules, and written and unwritten rules you get from your parents, your teachers. Those, you might say, limit you, you know, they put you in a frame and you live within that frame. And since we are social animals, we like to belong to a group, right? We like to belong to the masses. So we adjust ourselves to be accepted by the masses, which means that you might lose the connection with your true talents. While when you were very little, you just did the things you loved doing, you know, that you were great at, and those are your true talents.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Well, Erwin, I definitely am so grateful for the time that you have given us on It Starts With Me. I would love to have you come back out again at another time and tell us how you're doing with your business and how you're doing with your clients, and just give us some more of the gold that you've given on this day. And I just hope and pray that our audience, you know, that they understand how much you've given us on this day. Thank you so much.
I loved having the conversation and meeting you, Joel. So I'm always game for a new episode.
Awesome. Hey everybody, that was Erwin Wils. He was absolutely phenomenal. Gave us so many different takeaways. He was just filled with so much knowledge and also so much wisdom. You know, at the end of the day, it is about our own core talents. It is about our own core personality, and reaching that sometimes is difficult, independent of some type of help. I believe that what he has done today is exposed us to the framing that we put ourselves in, and given us the opportunity to break those frames down, to break those borders down. Now, with that being said, he also gave us the understanding that him, even as a coach, still utilizes a coach. So wherever you are, maybe that might be the answer for you, for the reason why you're not able to reach your highest potential, because you haven't invested fully. Maybe the next step for you is a mentor, is a coach, is somebody who can see, as Erwin say, your blind spots. No matter where you are, just remember this: as much as it starts with you, it starts with me. Peace.